I just can't cry anymore. When is this going to be over? It hurts to even think. What is going to happen to me? Most of you have experienced incredible trials and challenges. From this quotation by Laurel K. Hamilton, we can see that people hurt in ways that we cannot see or imagine. Have you ever had a journey wrought with pain? What lessons did it teach you? How did it change you as a person? My name is Carrie Umberster, and today I want to talk to you about my journey with pain. In November 2000, my family moved to a new state from Georgia to Virginia. My parents also divorced. This was an emotionally raw and critical time in my life. It is clear that my pain came at a multifold boundary and border crossing. From the dictionary, we can get a better sense of these words' meanings. A border is a separation of country or states, like the Four Corners, or a marker between places, like the Rio Grande. A boundary is a place where one area begins and another ends, like at the edge of a national forest, or a point where two things become different. For example, a street that is a single street that has two names depending on its location in the city. To discuss my journey, I will use a five-step sequence. First is departure. November 2nd, 2000, my family and I started the 8-hour drive. This marked the end of areas in my life and the beginning of new ones. Predictability and comfort in Georgia were traded for uncertainty and discomfort in Virginia. Peers that I had known for a long time were now replaced with unfamiliar ones. The starkest change, however, came in the shift from a naive adolescent to a mindful, awake young adult. Confronting the divorce and the move, I realized stuff that happened on TV could in fact happen in real life even to me. Second was crossing. As I crossed state lines geographically, I was personally transitioning into new states of being. Naturally, there was much at stake in this crossing for me. It was maintaining my sanity in my pain and my identity as a high-achieving student. Although I previously had peer connections, post-crossing, my social network was non-existent. Emotionally pleasant and content demeanors were turning into dissatisfaction, anger, and confusion. Burying myself in my schoolwork was all I could do to survive. Throughout all of this, I grew spiritually as I moved from a seeker of the Christian faith to an active learner thereof. November 3rd, the next day signaled my full arrival in step 3. Immediately, I had to begin dealing with the interests and power dynamics of the other people in my story. Implicitly, I had the duty to take care of more than my normal share of work and to do my best to handle the new life for my father's sake. Explicitly, I was going to take care of my sister and protect the house when my dad was at work. At school, it was clear I was the new kid and I had much to learn about the way things worked, how to take the bus, how to pay for lunch, where to hang out in the morning before class, all of these things. To be successful, I needed to employ an array of personal literacy skills, navigating school life and society, participating in religious activities, remaining emotionally calm, and using technology to stay in touch with friends back in Georgia. Time passed, and eventually I found myself in stage 4, alienation. Here I was officially not part of my old social circles, but clearly not a full member of any new ones. I was no longer fully with my nuclear family, but not a participatory member of the new arrangement, as school kept me from quality time with them. Finally, in the most extreme case, I was no longer wanting this new life I had, but also not completely interested in suicide to end it. I was stuck in a horrific case of triple limbo: social, familial, and existential. Additionally, I had to deal with competing interests. I was trying to get along socially without appearing weak or desperate. Spiritually, I had to deal with my suffering, but also appreciate the Christian teaching of God's purposeful planning. It was truly a disorienting whirlwind of circumstances. The alienation revealed itself in a sad, concrete way. I regularly skipped lunch and went to the library because I wasn't comfortable eating alone. But why? On the first day I got to lunch early and sat at an empty table, only to find out later that it was already claimed by regulars. I had a small walk of shame with my tray to find another place to sit down. How embarrassing. Something so simple and basic as eating lunch became this horrific thing. That's why I started going to the library. I could sit wherever I wanted, and being alone in the library wasn't a bad thing. In short, the library was a much-needed space of belonging that I couldn't find anywhere else in the school. The last stage of my journey focuses on claiming a new home, and to be honest, I wasn't interested in claiming anything. I made this known by talking back through my silence. I specifically remember refusing invitations to spend time with my father because I blamed him for my pain. I remember not going to junior prom because it wasn't my school, and for my senior prom, my date ended up backing out on me. For these reasons, I never felt like I belonged in my new geographic home, nor did I attempt to accept ownership. Overall, though, the border crossing was successful. Academically, I finished the remainder of high school in the top 30. Legally, I stayed out of trouble with the law. Spiritually, I grew in my faith as a Christian, even becoming one the Sunday after graduating from high school. Emotionally, I developed resilience in my personal turmoil. The greatest contribution, however, this experience has had on my life, though, lies in the work that I do as an educator of young people. The acts of spending time with my students in small moments after class, discussing their frustration and concerns, and helping create for them a welcoming community all find their origin in my frustrations. In other words, I want to provide my students with a champion who will protect them jealously. Assuredly, I do not think adolescents are helpless or weak. In fact, I myself overcame. Instead, I seek to offer support so that youth have an ally, whatever they need one. I cannot do everything, but I can always do something, and that is my goal. Let me close now. For all of you going through intense life changes, for those of you crossing physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual borders, please know that your pain is normal and your feelings are normal. Listen to me. You are not alone and not the first person to feel the way that you do. My question for you is, are you going to be the first one to reach out to the people who care about you? Go and find them. They are waiting to stand with you, walk with you, and to embrace all of your humanity. Thank you.